We will go to the past. Before you, yes, you, the player Steve, came into this world. There was a civilization of people in Minecraft. They built these structures which you can see in Minecraft, like the desert temples, jungle temples, the stronghold, and even the ancient city. So let's call them the ancient builders. So they had these built, but now the question arises, why did they build all of this? Well, let me tell you, once upon a time, these people were just chilling and moving on with their lives. But then suddenly, the Skulk, yes, this Skulk that was added in 1.19 started to corrupt the world. And people started to get sick, by which the ancient builders started to corrupt and become into zombies like we see here. Zombies, husks, grounds. Where did they came from? Well, it was actually these people who became zombies because of this virus. But some people did not catch this virus, so they wanted to cure their family and friends. So they traveled miles to find the cure. They traveled from biomes to biomes, which explain these structures that they built like desert temples and other structures to store their stuff in it. But what about the ancient city and the stronghold, the underground structures? Well, wait a minute, I will get on that, but first, while they were traveling, they made it to a swamp. Then they found a house. They went inside and then they saw a witch. Yes, a witch. They paid the witch to make an antidote which can cure the people, and she did. But how did she get this antidote? How did she know what the virus was so she can make an antidote? Now here comes the war between the ancient builders and the illagers. But before this virus was spreaded, they raided villages. As you can see, these guys show up when a village is being raided. Then they decided to raid the ancient people's structures. But they couldn't because they were too powerful compared to the illagers. And later on, the ancient builders destroyed the outposts of these illagers and killed them. But the illagers who survived, they ran away and built the woodland mansion very far away from these ancient builders and were thirsty for revenge. But they were weak, so they played smartly. So there are these weird structures like this giant cat and this chicken. Well, but why do they have it? Well, they possess these mobs with the help of the evoker to spy on the ancient builders. That's why if you go to a village, you can see cats running around. So by spying on them, they wanted the right moment to attack. But they saw that there were a lot of people and everything was protected. Now comes the witch. They paid the witch to create something powerful, something that powerful that would help the illagers to defeat the ancient builders. So she summoned a creature through a ritual and she spawned the warden. The warden helped by spreading the Skulk, but it also killed many illagers. But the illagers managed to kill the warden. So that's how the Skulk spread it everywhere. And that's how the witch knew the antidote of this virus. Now the Skulk spread it everywhere, so they couldn't get rid of the Skulk. They only cured the people, so they built a nether portal. Then they went inside, but they were immediately attacked by the piglins. As there were too many piglins, they went back into the overworld, but the Skulk was still spreading and the piglins keep coming out of the portal. So they had only one option, to dig underground. Now here comes the underground structure finally, the stronghold and the ancient city. So they dug and dug away from the surface and carved out a giant area where they would build this city. So they started a new civilization underground and lived there. But what about the piglins at the top? Well, they couldn't find the ancient builders. They searched and searched, but after some time they got infected and turned into zombie pigmen. Wait. What? Who is here?
So yeah, I was just watching you and you said pigmen got infected. But how?
Well, the pigmen got infected. Wait, did you just say you were watching me?
Wait, what? When? How? I don't know what.
Okay, never mind. But let me tell you how they got infected. Because of oxygen. We need oxygen to survive, but the piglins don't. To them, it is a kind of a poisonous gas.
But what about in the nether? Is there no oxygen in the nether?
No, there's no oxygen in the nether, and it is proven. So copper doesn't oxidize in the nether. That means that the outside layer of the copper block doesn't meet with a significant amount of oxygen. So yeah, there's no oxygen in the nether.
But how does the player survive in the nether?
Well, that's the player's problem. I don't know how the hell player survives in the nether. How am I supposed to know how the player survives in the nether? You tell me how to do it.
Not YouTube. Kill yourself.
Bro, I don't know how the player doesn't die, bro. Ask Mojang. I don't know how the player survives.
You will never get views on this. You are just not a tourist.
Nah, bro, you
Kill
just get out,
yourself.
bro. Get out, bro. Get out, frick you. What the hell was that, bro? I don't know how this works, but this is the explanation. So there's no oxygen in the nether. But back to the story. Well, the portal is still open, so a bunch of nether mobs come out of the nether, and the oxygen isn't poisonous to them because it doesn't infect them in the game. And then the wither skeleton sees this as an opportunity to conquer the overworld. So they spawn the wither by sacrificing themselves, and the wither destroys the skull by exploding it and destroys almost the whole world. Eventually the skulk also disappears. Wither also destroys the woodland mansion, and many villagers get killed, but some of them manage to run away. Then the next target of the wither is the ancient builders. Due to all this exploding, the ground breaks and the wither finds the ancient city and proceeds to destroy it. And wait a minute, you guys are probably thinking maybe I'm making this all up, but wait. If you listen to these discs, you will hear that all of this is true, but I am going to explain this in another video. So subscribe with the notification bell to see that video and drop a like. But now back to the story. Now you guys know this frame, right? Well, if you guys see the game files, this big structure is actually called the city center. Well, it does not give that much information, but there are smaller versions of the city center, and in the game files they are called small portal statues. Well, you can say that this is a portal and these ancient builders made it. The wither proceeds to destroy the city, but it does not destroy the frame because it is indestructible, like the end portal frame. And the ancient builders activated the portal, and we do not know how to activate it because they were smarter than us, or it could be that we will activate it in the future updates. Who knows? But when they activated it, they were supposed to go to a new dimension. But right as they were about to go in, the warden comes out of that portal and starts killing the ancient builders. But some of the builders manage to escape while the warden fights the wither, and while fighting, the wither explodes the portal gateway or something. I don't know what is it called, but the same thing which is in the nether portal. This purple stuff. So that's why we don't know how to activate the portal, and the warden kills the wither and spreads the skulk underground as well. That's why you can see in some of the caves in Minecraft, there are just a load of skulk everywhere. And the warden goes into the ground and despawns like it does in the game. While that was happening, the ancient builders who survived makes yet another structure to protect themselves from the warden, which is the stronghold. They make a portal room in which they will make the end portal, and these libraries in the stronghold explains that there were ancient builders and did some rituals with the help of the enchanting table in the books to create the ender eye because they could not kill the blazes, and then they make the end portal and go in it. When they arrive, they see the Ender Dragon, and the Ender Dragon attacks them, but they do not know how to defeat it. So they bridge away from the Ender Dragon, and then they find these different islands. So they bridge over there and they stay there. And this is how Endermen were created. So only by killing the Ender Dragon you can escape the end, but they didn't know how to. So they adapted their surroundings because you can see they have some features like the players, like white eyes. They are the only mobs that can pick up blocks. They can even speak. Here's an Enderman speaking. You can hear him say hi. Now he says hello. Now he says what's up. And now he says look for the eye. So Endermen are ancient builders asking for help to free them from the end. They are also tall because of the coarse fruit, and it is the only food source in the end. They can teleport because when eating coarse fruit, it teleports you. That's why when the player goes to the end, the Ender Dragon is still there because the ancient builders could not kill it. But what about the Illagers? What happened to them? Well, they also tried to escape from the Skulk, but when they went to the stronghold into the portal room, they saw that the portal was not lit and it was missing some eyes. But how? Well, because of silverfish. So when the Illagers arrived, they found the portal room to be infested with the silverfish, and the silverfish ate some of the eyes. And also you see these cracked bricks. Yeah, silverfish try to eat those. And if you look into the Woodland Mansion, there is a world replica of the end portal. They were trying to figure out how to enter the end. So in the recent update, Minecraft 1.20, it is called Trails and Tales because it added the sniffer, which will help the player finding out the trails of the ancient builders. They also added archaeology, which confirms that they were ancient builders.